Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spinner Rack, and today I'm doing my continuing series of the new DC, and I was figuring out what I was going to do next, and I decided to do this Aquaman miniseries. Now, this is 86, so it's like around the time where Crisis is happening, and it's moving on to everything that you would know from 86, which would be Watchmen, Dark Knight, but this is still kind of a holdover from the new DC, since originally, I think I have a book here. Originally, this was planned to be a drawn by Alan Davis. Alan Davis wanted to draw Aquaman, and sorry, he wanted to draw Aquaman, and the DC people said, no, you should draw Batman and the Outsiders. That one has royalties. So we want you to do Batman and the Outsiders. But he felt the artist, Craig Hamilton, did a bang-up job, a better job than he would have done at the time. And we're going to see why he would say something like that, right? Because Alan Davis is a pretty accomplished artist, right? But in seeing this, this is almost a quintessential revitalization of a character. If you've seen Byrne do it to certain characters, or the new Teen Titans, or any of the things that happen in continuity before the reboots, anytime when they took a character like Daredevil and bumped it up, or say Wally Wood taking Daredevil and changing the costume and bringing more energy to it, or I'm trying to think of other things, because Byrne kind of went the reverse way on the Fantastic Four, but kind of like Frank Miller's Daredevil, adding certain things in here, the startling secret origin of Aquaman, stuff added in here. I wouldn't say, what's that thing? Wouldn't say it's like the Swamp Thing, but that's in the sort of manner of it. And at the same time, getting him saying, hey, the costume, we need to update the costume. Now, I love this costume. I was like, finally, there's two periods of Aquaman that I felt that worked, right? And I read Aquaman from time to time because Jim Aparo used to draw the thing, and I read the comic where he lost his son and he was fighting Black Manta, and you find out Black Manta is actually a black guy, all this stuff. So I used to read it, and I understand that Aquaman had a bad attitude, not the same character that you'd see in the Super Friends, but I had some idea about his character because I read a few of the books. Not enough to say I know the full history, but I know he developed a bad attitude, right? And you could see that in the Justice League. So at this period, he was leader of the Justice League. It goes left, he goes away with his wife, and he's kind of trying to calm down, right? Because he was using his mental powers against the team and telling them what to do. And it was just like, I think I wanted to read the new Justice League that was kind of like the new Teen Titans, but Aquaman was, they were making him into total D-bag for using his mental powers and being stern, and then they kind of get him to calm down, but then he leaves. And I'm like, if he got him to calm down, why can't he stay, right? But some point when I was going in my collecting all the issues that I missed, and I bought issues of the Fantastic Four that I missed and the Alpha Flight issues that I missed, then I was like, I went to the store, I think it's Ralph Avenue Comics, and I saw this, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, how did I not know about it, and how did this not catch fire? Because at least from this cover, I was like, what? I can get the whole thing? This thing hasn't blown up like Walter Simonson's Thor? Like, I guess you could say that's empty. But before this, Walter Simonson Thor took Thor from being a book that was not working to him going through some event that led the book to working again, right? And he'd be back in his full strength. And that's basically a good testament to this Aquaman series, right? So we're not going to actually read the story because it's too much. It's just the art is too dense, but I'm recommending you guys go out and get this. And I don't know. I know that they had a sequel plan that never happened, and then they had Time and Tide. I don't know, was it Time and Tide? They had an Aquaman thing done by Keith Giffen with Kurt Swan that had him in a regular outfit. But this is an amazing start. We get all the covers here, right? So, and it's against a classic adversary, the Ocean Master, who's his brother, who is has a chip on his shoulder because Aquaman was the king of the sea, and he was his human brother that had nothing. And this also decided to tie in, was it Arion, the character from Atlantis that had set up this Neal Pozner, Neal Pozner, and Craig Hamilton decided to connect the Arion series to Aquaman. That this was an Atlantis series, so the stuff in that series would be in this one. So even though I never really bought it, it looked cool. So it was cool to see this stuff connected to it. And we see this battle that would happen between those characters from that book, right? And some of these crystals that are set up, right? And you can see some of the what's the name? The anatomy isn't always that great, but this book has a lot of energy to it. And I also bring this up when you look at artists like, I guess, Byrne in his early stage, the Image guys. You had this person who didn't have all the particulars together in his art, and Craig Hamilton, but he had energy, right? And that's always good. And look, this is the real logo right here. So I have to remember that for when I do the, what's the name? That's the logo right there. Neal Pozner and Craig Hamilton. And we have Aquaman here, and he runs into his brother, and he's got all this attitude towards him. And we can immediately see, we not only have some of the stuff that Neal Adams would do, we have some Neal Adams type shot right here, right? Which we've seen before. And I am not against utilizing with swipes or homages if it's at a little bit of detail, because all artists do it. I think Image guys kind of went too far with it, but having these moments are cool, right? And then while Aquaman is fighting the Ocean Master, more disasters happen. And you see Mera trying to struggle, trying to save everybody, which is to the Ocean Master's delight, right? And to our surprise, the Ocean Master he actually wins, right? And this is a great start to this series, right? And we don't understand how Aquaman, who's beaten the Ocean Master before, is now at a detriment to his brother, right? And we see Mera kind of bothered that Aquaman wasn't there to help, and she's trying to keep him well adjusted, but look at what the wreckage that is left, right? So there's a lot of cool stuff in here, right? So I'm gonna get caught up in going through the whole story. And it's been a long time, I just looked through it, but it is really, like some of the things right here. I think another cool one, even though it doesn't follow, the perfect anatomy, right? I think that's almost like a Byrne shot we've seen Byrne do a few times. I don't know if Byrne got it from someone else. We get this nice fight where he's struggling to talk with this octopus. It's not reading his power, so it's taking Aquaman all of his stuff that works for him, and he's, do still have this dynamic moment between him, right? So they realize he has to go do something. So this is going to lead us to see all this negativity towards him right here. But he has to do something to save Atlantis. And we see him in this new outfit, right? And it's like, bang, this is what I call a splash page of revitalization. You can see that this one page where it's like, he's back. Now in the series, he's not going to be totally back to being totally cool. but he's going to slowly build, and they're going to work on his character through this story. And we see this different society that's underwater that Aquaman is going to interact with, and we see him shed his costume, shed his signal device, so he won't be able to talk to the others, and he still has issues. And then, of course, they don't recognize him when he's floating around, even though he got all this negativity towards him, right? And he runs into these guys, and they don't really know him. And then, of course, he gets captured, and he's stuck, right? And he runs into this character who's going to be a big part of the series, right? So I'm going to try not to give away anything because it's a great series, but all I'm going to give you is, should I give you some more of this? It's only 10 minutes. So we're just going to go through and do a quick look through, right? See some of the art. And we can see the Ocean Master has gotten all this power, right? And he's very devastating. And some of the angles, the panels are really cool that this artist is doing. But you see he's captured here. He runs into this character, and she's telling him that you can't break those things. And of course, Aquaman is like this arrogant. He doesn't believe that, and he does everything, and he hurts himself trying to break out, right? So this is gonna take him from where he was, where he's very has all this anger. The whole story is kind of built on it, that deals with his anger, and he comes out of it so much better after the storyline. Even though the Ocean Master is gaining more power, we run into these new characters. There's so much cool stuff in this series that I want to go through everything, but I think it's a series that you should go out to. And here's Alan Davis here working on The Outsiders. He wouldn't stay long because they would put him on detective comic books, right? And what else? It goes back to the home. I just want to do a quick to the number 3 to get to the history of Aquaman, because this is what a lot of people at Marvel were doing, where they take the origin and they kind of update it a little. But we get these cool shots here, and he's surprised to see his brother is here with this different society, right? And this is how he connects to all this power. But the power is connected, the whole angle of the anger between them is really connected to these characters. And we get to the origin here, right? Of him saving this Atlantean, his father saving this Atlantean, and them being connected and not being able to speak, but something happens between the two of them, right? Finds his son underwater. Right. She tells her son, "You were destined to." So it's all the elements of what's the name, but in the movie they have a reverse, where his half brother is an Atlantean, and here Aquaman isn't really accepted. In the movie, he's not really accepted by the Atlanteans, where here we have his father having another wife, he can get married, has another kid. We get to see this cool shot of him. Like Craig Hamill could have done a series with the regular costume because it looks cool, but we see that his brother's gone through all this struggle. So this is where I'm going to stop it here, right? So we get this tightened up origin, just talking about the two of them, him and his brother, and we get him interacting with this female character who's would possibly might have become a love interest for him. So That's I just want to give you a quick overview of this series. It's a fun series. It's a dynamic series. It's an artist who they plan to do a sequel, but they've never really used this outfit again. And DC's almost like running scared from it for some reason. I wouldn't understand why, because I saw it and I was like, and every time you see in the letters, people would ask and they would say, oh, that was only because he needed to be in disguise and he needed to be, he's deep in the water, so he's going to be kind of camouflage. That wasn't something he was going to regularly wear. And it's just like, why not? So this period, and when Rick Veitch was doing Aquaman, with the, oh man, I gotta get the name of that artist. This the first that's the first the I didn't really read the Peter David one because I didn't really like the idea of his hand getting chopped off and him having a hook, and then him having a beard and coming Namor, which is ultimately the basis for the movies. The look is the basis for the movies. But after that, Rick Veitch made him get a new hand. I guess there's Eric Larson, and Eric Larson's series really wasn't that great. But then we had Rick Veitch come on there. Wonder Woman, sorry, I said Wonder Woman. Aquaman had gotten a water hand, which had some special powers. And then I think Paul Gleason, what was it Paul Gleason? Paul Gleason was the artist, and Will Pfeiffer were doing the Aquaman. And that series was fun. I read that. I think I read it for at least under a year, maybe 9 issues that I bought. But that's what I would recommend, and I definitely this. But DC kind of dropped the ball because I felt like this is going to be like Walter Simonson's Thor. Like, look, they updated him. He's kind of level-headed again at the end of the series, and we should see more of it. And they're like, nope, we're not doing any more of it. But I gotta find, if you're interested, I know there's might be a back issue where they talk about it, and they might tell you, I think they say what happened. So if you guys are interested, I'll go back to these somewhere in here and find that pit. But that's about it. Spin a rack out.